let's, as always, make sure I'm actually live before I do too much here. It looks like I am. Alright, let's go. It's time to start the MapleLocke. If you're seeing this VOD and you don't know what that is, I have a video explaining it on my YouTube channel, Slowpoke Well. Quick overview of the rules, though, for anyone who stumbles across this VOD. I am trying to do a gauntlet playthrough challenge through all 9 generations of Pokemon games so far, in order. And the goal is to thematically represent Canada in the structure of the playthrough and the teams that I use. There's no Canada-based region in Pokemon, but we're going to bring my country to the series a little bit here. So I've chosen the red or white version in each generation. The games to try to play through in order are... Oh, hi already, Robbie and Raymer King. That was quick. The games to play through are Red, Gold, Ruby, Pearl, White 2, Y, Ultra Sun, Shield, and Scarlet. I'm glad I finally have that down now. But I might not make it through all of them. In fact, I think I probably won't make it through all of them. I can fail at any point along the way. It's inspired by a Nuzlocke, but it's not a Nuzlocke. I have a list of legal Pokemon that I can use. I can freely catch them, but I can use one of each per playthrough. The list is all red Pokemon by official Pokedex color, all white Pokemon by official Pokedex color, all ice types, and Bibarel. Not that Bibarel matters to red version here. If Pokemon faints, or I should say, I can use Pokemon once per game, but I can keep using it in the next games as long as it survives all the way to the end. But if Pokemon faints at any point, then it is gone for the entire challenge. So if I lose my Charmander, I can't then use Charmander in Y. And there's some other specific Pokemon eligibility rules for weird edge cases that are addressed in the video. I'm actually getting started a little bit later than I meant to here because it's a holiday and I was sleepy, but I'm going to get through what I can before I have somewhere else to be later this afternoon. We'll jump in on Charmander. Hey, that's fitting. Or I could name him like the Leafs or something. But, do I have room for that? No. There we go. You know there's no slight intended because I am a Leafs fan. It seems fitting to invoke them somewhere. I could have named him Tim Horton. Oh well. I both took too long and underthought it. What can you do? Anyway, the starter choice is very simple here. One of them is legal for the playthrough. And it is, coincidentally, this one. I actually didn't remember what order they're in. Very simple, objective nickname theme. It's going to look familiar, but by objective, I mean I have a objective criterion to decide which Pokemon gets which name. I'm going to try to represent as much population as we can here, so... This... My keyboard not working. There we go. This is Toronto. And I'm going to carry nicknames over between playthroughs, so if I get to use Charmander in any later games, they'll have the same nickname as this one. Alberta fought for us to be rat-free, and that basically had war propaganda. That's a good point. Yeah, rats in Alberta. I wouldn't name my rival that, because that's just one province. And, I mean, maybe I'm a little biased because it's not a province that I'm personally very familiar with. I haven't been to Alberta in more than 20 years, but no, really just because it's just one province. I was looking for something broader than that. The Leafs are an enemy or rival of a lot of the country. But you do have a point there, Raymer King, for sure. I think I heard there were rat sightings earlier this year, is that right? Losing this battle doesn't matter, because I'm going to do the Nuzlocke thing where the challenge only starts when I have Pokeballs, but I've already crit this Squirtle twice. It does not look like I'm going to lose. Okay. Alright, we're zooming so far. Now, I think I'd like to just find a Caterpie as quickly as I can, because like I said, I think I'm going to... Before I battle the trainers, I mean, because like I said, I think I'm going to need to do some grinding to beat Brock. That's not a Caterpie. I don't remember which bug is more common in red version as opposed to blue. Also, I don't need a Caterpie specifically. If I find a Metapod, I can just catch that. The problem is, of course, Metapod doesn't get Tackle. So maybe I do need a Caterpie specifically. Why am I not finding anything? Where are the bugs? Are they all over here? Caterpie is a 5% encounter. Weedle is 50, Kakuna is 35. Okay. So it's like I'm looking for a Viridian Forest Pikachu, but I'm not even looking for a Pikachu, it's a Caterpie. How did I do this as a kid? And again, I'm sticking to this area because I want Caterpie before I battle the trainers to make the grinding for a Butterfree with Confusion a bit less difficult. Have you been getting any rain where you live? Alberta's flooded. Look at that, I got a Pikachu before a Caterpie. How many loops have I done without an encounter? Well, there we go. Probably like at least 3. I can probably just... That's my second Pikachu. So if I could get an Oddish. Do I take this? I've been saying I specifically want a Caterpie because this can't attack until I evolve it. Probably even a little beyond that. I would have to only switch train. Chat, what do you think? Alright. Well, let's see if this takes a scratch. If I just knock it out with a crit or something here, then I'm back in Caterpie hell anyway. But nope. Oh, I almost just attacked again. I only have 1 Pokeball. I forgot to buy more. Oh, what a disaster. Okay, I can't catch it. Alright. Well, I'll go heal and then back in Caterpie hell after all. Caterpie. It's only at level 3. I'm going to try a ball first. I don't know if that's going to work in this game. My plan was to really see what was available when I picked, and that's how I got Floette. Yeah, hey, one of the strongest Megas. Makes sense. Okay, that ball shook a couple times. I'm going to try another one. The problem with taking all this free experience is this is where I pay for it. I really hope this Caterpie takes a scratch. You're planning 1 grace period shift. Honestly, not impossible that I crit it. Okay. I think genuinely what I should do is see if I can catch a Rattata by just throwing a ball at it. And then if I can use that to weaken a Caterpie if I find one. It's a little bit cheesing the rules of the challenge, but I've kind of painted myself into a corner here, and it is not against the rules. Until signups went live, it's almost... It didn't take too long this time. Until signups went live, I was almost going with Calgary Conkeldurr for the team name, saving it for when he's got Flame Orb. Yeah, having just drafted Conkeldurr, too bad there's no Flame Orb, and too bad there's no Assault Vest. Still a strong mon, though. Okay, I finally caught a Caterpie. By the way, don't let me forget to buy more Pokeballs before Mount Moon. Its short feet are tipped with suction pads that enable it to tirelessly climb slopes and walls. We're stopping to read the Pokedex entry because it was such an ordeal to even get this thing. And according to my calculations, its nickname is Montreal. Alright, I'm gonna save the game right now because this feels like an excellent time to do that. And here we go. First gym battle. Not even 2 hours in. Let's go. Brock looks so scary in Gen 1. I might be about to lose my Butterfree immediately, but, you know, I hope not. That does not do very much. What? I mean, it's non-stab Confusion from a Butterfree, but I was hoping it would do more than that. Okay, Geodude also breaks through Confusion, but it only uses Tackle there. It might not know Rock Throw. Probably doesn't. So we beat the Geodude pretty easily, despite my worries about Confusion damage, as in the damage from the move Confusion. Now there's Onix. That does not take a Confusion super well, and it goes for Screech. I'm not sure it knows Rock Throw, but I think it probably does, but I'm not sure. It just goes for Tackle into my -2 defense, but it's an Onix, so it still doesn't do very much. And okay, maybe all that grinding was a little overkill. Brock is easily swept aside, but Confusion Butterfree was always what I figured my answer was to him. And that's a gym badge on the board. Is this the Magikarp salesman? Yep. Might as well buy a Magikarp. I am allowed to use it. Hard to imagine what it will be useful for. The nickname. Huh. That's not what I expected. What do you know? This one is... Calgary. Because why not? And because, hey, it's the next relevant encounter right here. Nothing too interesting or fun to talk about? What are you saying? Oh, you said para in the chat, and I thought, oh, what got paralyzed? But of course you mean this Paris here. Wait, poisoning it means... I didn't think that through. I should have paralyzed it. Because now it'll take passive damage. I should probably go to the Pokemon Center now anyway, though. So let's do that. First, this will be named... Ottawa. Parasitic creature named after our national capital. I swear I'm not choosing these by my whim. It is rival battle time. Let's go. I did not end up doing the optional one, but this one's not optional. Why is this Pidgeotto at such a high level? I did so much grinding. And this thing's comparable to my party. That did 10 damage. I'm doing more, but I hope I don't miss, you know? After the sand attack. If I land this next Ember, I should be in very good shape. Even after a quick attack. I miss? Okay, I should... Okay, he didn't go for quick attack, so I move first, and I land the next one. What do I do now? This won't be able to attack, I don't think. Let's throw a Mega Punch at it, even with the accuracy drop. Let's go. Then I think he's a Rattata. Maybe I would have been better off switching to Montreal against the Abra for the free switch in. I'm going to stay in for now and try to Ember this. Okay. Oh, I got the burn. That's very good. I'll take the opportunity to switch Montreal in here, because that's my answer to a Squirtle anyway. Hyper Fang. Good thing it's burned. Why is he so strong? He's named after the Leafs. Alright, let's poison his Squirtle. At least it's not a Wartortle yet. That bubble really doesn't do very much. Does it not even know Water Gun yet? I think it probably does. But I don't know, he went for Bubble there. The Tackle's not doing much either. And we crit him for good measure. Let's go. There we go. Oddish. It's red when it's fully evolved. There aren't a ton of grass types available to me. I think Oddish and Paris are the only ones. And Oddish is a lot better than Paris. I can't poison it, so I don't have to make that silly mistake again. Or, I can avoid that silly mistake again because I can't poison it anyway. There we go, that's what I mean. Okay, it looks like I might have to weaken it a bit more, so I'm actually going to switch to Ottawa to do that. I mean, I could just tackle it. It's a much higher encounter rate than Viridian Forest Caterpie, so if I knock out the first one, it's not that big a deal. But yeah, let's just do this. Absorb shouldn't do much to Ottawa. A little bit slow, but good way to weaken it, I think. That wasn't a crit. That felt like it did a little bit more damage than the... Okay, I guess it didn't do any more damage than the others. I guess they're all doing one. The pixels on the bar just felt like they moved differently there or something. Alright, let's see if putting it to sleep and throwing a ball is enough now. Perfect. This should be one of my best Pokemon for as long as I have it in this run. The Fire Water Grass core is getting a little more serious. We'll still have to work on the water part. And the name is... Edmonton. It's kind of a funny name for a Vileplume. I think the Butterfree trainer is next. This guy. And yeah, I'll gamble on full paras to land that super effective Ember and not get put to sleep. The risk is confusion, right? The combination of paralysis and confusion is pretty difficult in early gens to deal with. Also, the attack confusion confused me. Also, it's doing 10 damage each hit, which is... I'm already in range right now of confusion, the attack, and confusion, the self-damage. I'm going to switch again. That's annoying. Now I'm on the receiving end of that broken move. I got crit and confused. Please land this poison powder. Maybe I should have gone for a sleep powder. Maybe poison powder doesn't do enough. Maybe I just got poisoned too. Okay. If I switch back to Toronto, I take a hit. I can think about a potion. I did narrowly take that crit, but oh my god. I only have 2 potions. I'm in danger here. That crit me again. Still doesn't KO. I'm going to use my potion immediately. I think I'm realizing the danger of using a paralyzed Pokemon. It probably is more susceptible to being crit, this being Gen 1. I get crit again! I think sacrifices are going to have to be made against this Butterfree. Apologies to the city of Calgary and all its inhabitants. It didn't attack. Wait, what if it never attacks? This is Gen 1. Weird things happen. Never mind. I'm going to take a second to remove Magikarp, the first casualty of the challenge, from every generation in the spreadsheet. I will not be saving Magikarp for Gen 8 like he suggested, Raymer King. I would have liked to. But with that death there, probably not the only one in this battle. Maybe not the only one in this battle. Magikarp is now illegal for the rest of the challenge. Which might not be very long the way this is going. But we'll see. Sorry, I am just deleting a bunch of columns from my spreadsheet right now. This is how it's going to be sometimes when something dies. But also, Magikarp specifically appears in a lot of games. Not everything will give me this much to delete. And by columns, I meant rows. Well, I guess in the end, that was all that Magikarp was ever very likely to do for me, unfortunately. Red Gyarados is fine. I'm going to say that one's a special exception. I'm going to try not to sack Ottawa just yet. I'm going back to Montreal. Oh, I forgot the Montreal's poison. That's why this doesn't work. Okay, but if I can land a hit on this Butterfree, that'll speed things up. Poison damage is 4. Confusion is 8. Well, it does. It does 8. So I can get through one more turn, most likely. Now I'm switching to Ottawa because that's the mon I'd rather sack. Maybe I could have just used Confusion here and been okay, but I'm not 100% sure. Maybe I can win this with a scratch here? Even paralyzed? We take the hit. Don't get crit for once. Full para. Well, Parasect was never going to make or break the challenge. That crit didn't matter. That's another mon gone. Kinda devastating. To lose 2 in one battle. But the overall challenge should survive. Parasect is not in as many games as Magikarp. I don't think this update will take me as long. Okay, but there it goes. You were just lurking, not asleep, Robbie? Fair enough. Okay, should be able to knock this out with Confusion now. Uni's almost done. Congrats on that part. But one last thing to do. Good luck with that part. Okay. Edmonton learned Sleep Powder. Hey, silver lining. We got through the battle with all my strongest Pokemon still here. I'm going to need to use that antidote now. Okay, let's hope this goes more smoothly than the last battle against this guy's Pidgeotto. At least I have super potions now. I might need them after that sand attack opener there. Okay, the Gust isn't doing too much, as long as he doesn't crit me. I think I might have a Kadabra by now, too, though. That's pretty scary. Because it will actually be able to attack. Eradicate's a bit of an issue as well. I'll try my luck with Montreal against this. I'm like Ash Ketchum using Butterfree against Eradicate in the SSN. Worked out well for him. Missed the first Sleep Powder. Get Tail Whipped a second time. I miss another one. I miss a third one. He is absolutely just spamming Tail Whip, though. Okay, I think after all those defense drops... I just woke up immediately. I think after all those defense drops, I probably wanted to switch right back to Toronto. Instead of trying to Confusion through this. Okay, that's a 2-hit KO, and it doesn't even wake up. That's good. And as you're noting in chat, Raymer King, that Raticate might never wake up from that nap. I'm a little afraid of the Kadabra. I'm going to try to Mega Punch it, because it's stronger than Ember anyway, even without Stab. And Kadabra has bad defense. I'm not spamming Mega Punch because it's inaccurate, but it is actually the strongest attack I have on Toronto. Okay, we do knock Kadabra out immediately with a crit, and he has now evolved his Squirtle, but I have something good for that. All the same. He's still just spamming Tail Whip, but he keeps missing them now, so that's good. Why is he spamming Tail Whip so much in this whole battle? I don't know, but not my problem. Nice level 25 starter. Good level to end the stream on. X defend, what's that gonna do? W, Primal, Gigantamax, Terra Water, Mega Magikarp Z. Yeah, but all of that wasn't enough, unfortunately. Using the Z move, of course. Well, you'd think it could take down that guy's Butterfree, but unfortunately that wasn't how it went. Maybe it used Z Splash. Which is actually pretty good, but does no damage. Okay, hello bot, you're banned now. Oh. I clicked too quickly and used Poison Powder again. It's fine. She's not exactly doing a lot of damage here, although Starmie must have a high crit rate. So maybe she'll do double-digit damage at some point. Oh, I crit her. Okay, well, that was quick. I could have done this way earlier, but I didn't really see any need. As I mentioned in my last playthrough of this game, now I know the trick that I didn't know as a kid. Which is that this puzzle doesn't quite work the way it's supposed to. And that no matter where the first switch is, there's always a good chance that the second one is over here. Yep, there we go, nailed it. That puzzle took me so much longer as a kid because I didn't know about the glitch. By now we'd be in Viridian. What if this were last time? We'd be nowhere close to finished with Viridian Forest, that's for sure. Okay, there goes his first Pokemon. I think he has a Magnemite and a Raichu left. Oh, Pikachu and Raichu. Right. No Magnemite. X speed? Why? You're just spamming Quick Attack. Maybe that boosts the crit rate, although we didn't see it there. Okay, that leaves Raichu. That is quite the sprite. And he's just going for Thunder Shock, which is resisted and not targeting my lowered defense, so that's good. And here's another X speed. If that does boost the crit rate, I guess I can understand that as part of his game plan here. And he just rips a Thunderbolt into my electric resist. Okay, let's see what it does. Not a whole lot. I didn't notice that you misspelled duh there. to outspeed your quick attack. Fuh. Ah, full para. At least I'm getting consistent damage now that I finally landed a poison powder. But I do have to keep an eye on my health. When he goes for Thunder Shock instead of Thunderbolt, though, that's pretty reassuring. Or when he goes for Growl, because I'm not using physical attacks anyway. I don't even have any. But yeah, the Thunderbolt does some damage. I'll give him that. And because of the full paras, I'm not doing a lot back. Okay, 38 down to 25, so that does 13, and it wasn't a crit. This Absorb will take me out of range of a crit. So that 4 HP heal actually might have made a difference. Full para, Thunderbolt. Oh, yeah, that 4 HP heal made a big difference. Now, do I want to use a Super Potion? Or switch? I think Super Potion is okay. What are you saying in chat, Raymer? What's the thought you're trying to get across there? Okay, got crit again. He's not mixing in Thunder Shocks anymore, it's all Thunderbolt. That's why this guy's a gym leader. Ah! And he's critting me every time now. And I'm fully paralyzed. It's okay, another Super Potion, we're fine. And now he weaves in another Thunder Shock, I guess, trying to get the KO when I'm at low HP. But that is not enough. GG, Lieutenant Surge. That got a little scary at some points, but we were fine. Trying to learn Acid? Alright, I mean, it's the second attack. I'll take it. I feel like Stun Spore is the one I'm using least, so I'll drop that. Right here in this grass. And there it is. Hopefully this will be a valuable member of the team. W Bomb, yeah. I think probably I'm going to use the Thunderbolt TM on Voltorb right away. It would also be nice to use it on a Lapras. But Voltorb gets, like, no electric attacks in Gen 1, I'm pretty sure. And it's going to have a high crit rate, because it's a very fast mon. And Thunderbolt... What are we doing here? I think Thunderbolt could be very useful, like, the whole rest of the way. So I think it's worth it instead of saving the TM for Lapras. If Lapras even gets Thunderbolt in red, which I'm assuming it does. But oof, learn sets are weird sometimes in this game. Alright, and this is... Any guesses, Raymer, on the nickname? Now that you know how they're formulated? This is Winnipeg. What? Did you see that, Raymer? A ghost appeared on that cliff. What a funny visual bug. I didn't know they ghost girls all the way back in Gen 1. That was scary. We're in the home of the guy who knows everything. We're just gonna take his Eevee. Apparently that's okay. This thing's nickname. Mississauga, which is just over the character limit. What can you do? That's a funny sprite, but then again, it's a funny Pokemon to begin with. Good crit. Another crit should KO once I get out of this wrap. At least I'm faster now, so it's more realistic to actually do that. Yep. One day they'll come back strong as some kind of Edmonton Entei. Some kind of Edmonton Entei. Alright, looking forward to it. This thing's pretty physically bulky, so let's try an Ember. I think it's kind of specially bulky too, though. Ember looks like a 2-hit KO. And it burns. Nice. That's pretty helpful into this bind. I'd be in a real bind right now if not for that burn. There we go. That's Tangela. And that just leaves her Vileplume. Level 35, one away from a Charizard, I believe. That's also a pretty funny sprite. I thought about doing Alberta Arceus, but I am not good enough to have earned it. Is that the goal now? Nice crit. Get to the point where you feel like Alberta Arceus is an option. That's so funny that she can use an item right after my attack in Gen 1. But yeah, still critting everything. Her Vileplume is thrashing about, not doing a whole lot of damage. GG Erica, 4 badges. You'll do it when you make playoffs? That makes sense, it's a good goal. All he has to say is that he's impressed that I got here. Well, I'm gonna impress you some more, bro. Oh, it's Onix. Okay, that makes sense too. They really are saving Rhyhorn for later in the game, huh? Mega Drain only has 10 PP. That is crazy for such a weak attack. Am I going to cover the games played in Champions? Yeah, I imagine so. I haven't really thought much about whether there will be any challenges with that yet, but... Oh, he does have a Rhyhorn here. Okay. But, like, as long as they post the recordings, I think it's doable, right? It just slows me down a little bit, but that's okay. Now here's the giant threat. Okay, we dodge Comet Punch and land Poison Powder. Pretty good. Let's go for Acid. Maybe I can get a defense drop. Before potentially switching out. Kangaskhan is pretty strong for this early in the game. I'm making fun of Giovanni, but he is a threat. I'm actually going to switch back to Mega Drain. Let's see what this does. It's twice as strong as Absorb, but that's not saying much. It did some damage. Actually, that did a pretty good job. A lot of recovery, too. Probably didn't need to bother with Poison Powder. Oh, I got flinched? I wasn't sure that Bite even had a flinch chance in this generation. But there we go. There's our answer. Okay, this Mega Drain should KO. That's Giovanni 1 complete. What? This cannot be. Yeah, I'd say I impressed him again. And I'm using the official Pokédex color to determine what color each Pokemon is. So, basically Bulbapedia is my authority on which Pokemon are red and which ones are white. If I run out of Pokemon, the whole challenge is over. You thought it was grass only because you saw a Vileplume in the thumbnail? That's fair, right? Could be plant themed, but no. Vileplume is officially red. So it's legal. Although I don't actually have one yet. I have a Gloom and a Leaf Stone, but I'm not doing the evolution just yet. Still bothers me that I didn't think quickly enough to name my rival Tim after Tim Hortons. But I can correct that in other games if I get to them. What am I doing using Ember? Slash is just better at this point, and I've already learned that lesson. It's fine though, it's still one shot. Kadabra? Is he just going through his Pokemon in order? I think he is. Now, is it Wartortle or Blastoise in this battle? I don't remember. Wartortle. I'm willing to just try a slash into that. Oh, hey, execute signature move that's well-known, Barrage. Correct. Execute signature move that's well-known. Any issues? Alright, here's the rival battle. We're just gonna jump right into it. And hope it doesn't kill the whole run, because that would be unfortunate. I don't like the notification, I'm just not a big VOD guy. You get notified when the VOD is up? Level 37 Pidgeot. Raymer, I might have made a mistake. Good crit. Good sand attack dodge. If you have notifications on Twitch, I see. Growlithe. Level 38. That's a higher level than anything I have. I might not have thought this through. Okay, using Roar is fine. That does nothing. The good thing is, I think my Charizard can sweep the rest of his team except the Blastoise. And then I have my Gloom for that, so I'll probably be okay, but I'm kind of scared right now. Hi, Quinn Luna. How are you? Edmonton needs to lock in, yeah. Oh, he has an Alakazam already. Well, it has a low defense stat. You're fine? Good to hear. Okay, Confusion also doesn't do too much damage. That's a pretty weak attack for this point in the game. I don't get the KO, but I should after this recover. Okay, now there's just the Blastoise. Okay, we're fine so far. Still have to beat the Blastoise, though. And it is now a Blastoise, not a Wartortle, and it's at level 40. You just dropped a follow? Thanks for that. Much appreciated. Okay, how much does Bite do? Too much! Okay, it was a crit. I'm gonna try to poison it. And then I think I'm gonna use a Super Potion. Truly a big man Blastoise. I know, look at that pose, too. When it's back on screen. What games do I play? Just Pokemon, pretty much. I don't play much at all except Pokemon, but only Pokemon for content. These days I'm kind of the stereotype of the Pokemon player who doesn't play anything else. Because I just don't have time. Okay. This Mega Drain recovery should be helpful. One more Mega Drain for the win. Do I stream daily? No. I don't stream very often, actually. Just when I find time. But this challenge is going to have me streaming a little bit for the next little while. I beat my rival. No casualties. I was scared, though. But it paid off. I get Lapras early now, I think. I believe it's finally time for a nickname I've been expecting for a while. Yep, this is Vancouver. Let me update my spreadsheet first, and then I'll give the nickname in-game. My decisions on what order to do things have definitely spun out into some kind of silly outcomes, but... Did I misspell Vancouver? Does that say Vancouver? Raymer, did I misspell Vancouver? Yes, I missed the second V. You know what? I'm not even going to fix it in this playthrough. If I get a Lapras in another playthrough, I'll fix it. But for now, it's an Easter egg. There's Poliwhirl. Level 23, okay. It's a bit more reasonable. I hope it takes an acid, so I don't have to fish up another one. Okay, good. Now let's try to put it to sleep. Good. It woke up immediately, and I missed the next sleep powder. Those things are less good. Okay, I do have a Great Ball, so I can try that if Pokeballs aren't working. Hopefully I won't have to buy more balls and fish up another Poliwhirl. Nope, second Pokeball got it. Okay, now here's how this is going to work. I can't change the nickname on a Pokemon that I got in a trade. The Jinx will be called Lola, and that's that. But I'm going to give Poliwhirl the intended nickname for Jinx. And the rules are still the same. That's the nickname of any Jinx that I get in any game after this one. And the nickname is Brampton. Guess I didn't do that one in a very dramatic way, but it is Brampton. Kind of a funny nickname for a Jinx, doesn't really feel like it fits. You don't know any city called Lola? Well, there's nothing I can do about that. It's just how it works. You can only get Jinx in a trade in this game. You don't know Brampton? It's a big city in Ontario, close to Toronto. And I think I can go ahead and teach Psychic to this, and I think I can also get the Ice Beam TM and teach that to this Jinx. I do think that's a good idea. Will we even get a Nunavut or Northwest Territories Pokemon? I mean, it depends how far this goes. There are a lot of Pokemon to get if I go all the way. I'm potentially going to have a lot of Ice types in the final team, but that's to be expected. And I think Lapras is a better water type than the other options, even with the drawbacks of the Ice type. I will once again start off with just a ball. I guess I'll throw bait at the next one if this doesn't work. But it does work, so we're fine. Nickname? Hamilton. Do you know that one, Raymer? You a CFL fan at all? You watch the Hamilton Tiger Cats? There's what I'm looking for. Just throwing a ball is working pretty well so far. Not so much this time, but it didn't run. Maybe because it's a fish and that's hard for it to do. Huh? Your team's bad? I haven't kept up either, so I didn't know that. Okay, Goldeen is... Surrey. We're back at me not knowing BC geography. I think Surrey is in the general area of Vancouver, probably. Like the VG Surrey League? It's Surrey, not Surrey. The other option is actually not battle Koga yet, and go do the rest of Sylph before I battle Koga. I actually don't hate that option. But I did tell you I would take on Koga now. Raymer, will you feel cheated if I actually don't battle Koga right now? The Fabled 4 gym stream. Alright, you've convinced me. Oh, right, I have 2 HMs now, so I have another opportunity to make the same mistake. That's a pretty high level. But let's see how it takes a Psychic. I should be faster. This is a jinx. It does not take a Psychic at all with a crit. Okay, good. Boosted experience. I'm kind of scared of the Muck. I don't really have anything good for the Muck. Poison Gas is not what I like to see. I do have 1 full restore in my bag. That's a good crit, but I... Oh no. I don't think another one KOs, but I hope it does. Not even close, actually. Sludge Bomb at +1 attack. Okay, full restore time for sure. Oh, but he can just use Poison Gas again because he knows I'm using a full restore. Well, we'll see what happens. Minimize. Okay. As long as I land my attack, I'm fine. Why did I say that? Now I get poisoned. If I KO, I don't take poison damage. Nice. I'm down to just slash this. But I still have to beat his wheezing somehow. Crit mattered? What, on my slash? But they all crit. I'm guessing that's the joke. How do I switch against his wheezing? Maybe I don't. Maybe I just try to Ember through it. Ember has a chance of burning it. Let's see how much a slash does. Not a great amount. His sludge back does... Also not too much. I think this will be okay. It looks like it's out of range of another slash, which is really annoying. Oh my god! Raymer, I beat Koga, but Charizard is now dead for the entire challenge. Was it worth it? I don't know if it was. We did get the Fabled 4 gym stream. But that is now goodbye to Charizard in the MapleLocke. Well, moments like this were always likely to come, sooner or later. This is the guy who got sent to Russia or something. I always remember this guy. I guess with the real-world reference really got my attention as a kid. He also has 5 Pokemon, wow. I think I can just stay in on this. It's not going to have an electric attack. It's a Voltorb. Oh. Uh-oh. Maybe I'm getting overconfident because I've seen Self-Destruct not do a lot of damage to some of... What a hilarious time for a stream, for a spam bot to show up in chat. Goodbye. I lost Lapras. I could have just switched. But I saw my Lapras started to get so strong and I got excited. Give me a second to remove Lapras from every generation in my spreadsheet. Vancouver will never be spelled correctly in this challenge. Nidorino, not quite a ground type yet, but weak to Psychic. Kind of strong, level 37, wow. Still doesn't take that hit, though. Oh, it was a crit. Kangaskhan is the one thing that's still pretty threatening here. Let's see if I can... let's go for a Lovely Kiss, actually. Nice, a hit. I was going to say let's go for a Freeze, but obviously Lovely Kiss putting it to sleep is more likely to work out. Wait, that doesn't take an Ice Beam well at all. I guess the Lovely Kiss might have been unnecessary. Fun to use, though. Level 40. Definitely going to swap somebody else to the front of the party after this battle. First, let's Ice Beam this Rhyhorn. And then also the Nidoqueen. Sorry, I was sneezing again. I don't know what's going on. Oh, that didn't KO. Okay, well, he didn't paralyze me with the body slam, so we're fine. Goodbye Nidoqueen, goodbye Giovanni. Now I get the Master Ball. Level 41. Alright, a little over the target. Now that I have the Master Ball, I keep talking about taking Cycling Road and going down to Fuchsia. It's time to go get all of the remaining Pokemon that I can catch in this playthrough to actually use, including the only legendary that I'm allowed to use in this playthrough. Now what if I go over here? Shelter. That is something I can catch. Let's see how it takes an acid. Shelter is a very physically bulky mon. I mean, I can catch anything. Shelter is something I can use. Okay, it getting rid of the defense drop immediately I think is actually good. I feel safe to use another acid. And then I'll go for Sleep Powder and then an Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball now would probably be fine, but... just woke up immediately? Okay, well... here we go again. The shelter is not in my immediate plans, but it's good to have in the box in case I need it later. And... its nickname is... gonna have to open the list for the first time in a while. Quebec, as in Quebec City. Now I can go right up here and use my Master Ball on this. New team member alert. And, by an amazing coincidence, if you're familiar with the channel, you know I'm a big Articuno fan. It's my favorite legendary Pokemon of all time. And if you've watched the MapleLocke up to this point, you know that the nicknames are objective. There's a list I'm going through, every Canadian municipality by population, and that is how the nicknames are determined. by an amazing coincidence that I didn't think would actually happen. Well... this is Halifax. There it is. This is the last Pokemon to catch in the red version playthrough. Once I get this, I will have caught all legal Pokemon for this part of the challenge. The Gen 1 part of the challenge. And this is my new water type, once I catch it. Replacing Lapras in the team, I suppose. And already starting at a way higher level, so that's something. Alright. Last nickname of Gen 1. I might as well close the list for now. After this. This is Laval. I'll have to make it to Gen 2 for anyone else to be anywhere else to be represented. Sabrina has a whip in this game. Welcome to Gen 1. Things have changed a little bit since the last stream, Raymer. Gonna try to sweep Sabrina with my Articuno. Level 51. Is that Blizzard? It sure is. I guess I'll drop Peck. What do I need Peck for? W Articuno. Agreed. Let's just try a Blizzard on this Mr. Mime. I don't think it'll take the hit. Looks like a broken move. Look at that animation. It is a super broken move in Gen 1, so the animation matches nicely. Let's try Fly into this Venomoth. And Fly into Alakazam. Alakazam not looking so scary, especially when it goes for Recover turn 1 for no reason. Maybe I didn't need to be worried about Sabrina after all. Goodbye. W crit. That's 6 badges. Oh no, the gym's locked, and there's an old man on the roof for some reason. Another ghost. That reminds me of that ghost in Rock Tunnel, which I'd kind of forgotten about. Oh, he teleported to ground level, which I guess is good. I clearly did not. Clearly did not what? I'm lost on what you're referring to there. No, the stream was today. Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't tell you, so fair enough. Do I want rest? I guess I might as well drop Growl for rest. What am I doing with Growl? Don't know what I'm doing with rest anyway, or either, but whatever. Fire Spin, uh-oh. That's a problem. It's one of those multi-hit, Gen 1 multi-hit moves right there. Oh, I used a Super Potion. And, wait, he gets to use a Super Potion for no reason? There's actually was no reason he did that. Why did he just used another one for no reason? I haven't done any damage, but he's doing that and his attack continues? That is broken. And I got out of the Fire Spin, but he just went straight into another one. Keep using Super Potions, I dare you. Why was he using Super Potions? Raymer, what was that? I hadn't done any damage. He's landing every Fire Spin. No. He even crit me with that one. Gen 1 is so weird. That damage is adding up. He lands another one. I just need him to miss a Fire Spin. please. Is there a safe switch? I can't switch while I'm fire spawn. But yeah, that's an option. But okay, I don't end up needing it. As he finally misses one. There still is Arcanine to deal with. I think I'll probably use some kind of potion when that comes in. I mean, look at that thing. Look at that thing's sprite. It looks pretty scary. Let's go all the way to a hyper potion. Yeah, I couldn't switch when I was fire spawn. When I wasn't... Okay, good miss. When I wasn't fire spawn, switching was an option. I didn't think it would be necessary. And it wasn't, but it got pretty scary there. I'm glad I used that hyper potion, though. I mean, a super potion would have been fine, but I didn't know he would miss a fire blast. But I think I was in fire blast range before I healed, is my point. Now he uses a super potion, and it actually almost makes sense, except it doesn't heal enough to take this surf. So GG, Blaine. You put up more of a fight than any of your gym trainers. That Arcanine is cute. You're right, Raymer. It's very fluffy. Yeah, Blaine put up a bit more of a fight than I was expecting, but still turned out fine. Horn. Goodbye. Trio. This might be faster. We saw one go for Sand Attack earlier. Okay, but he just wastes his time using an item. Uploading your motivation for week 2 videos is low, but you're making them. Why is your motivation low? Because of the work of typing it out, or what? What's up? Wow, even that Nidoqueen didn't take a surf. That means nothing he has well. Have I watched the sets yet? Yeah, I have. I think my video's out now, right? It would have gone out about 30 minutes ago. For week 2, I have watched. Week 3, of course not. I think there's one that's not done yet. Okay, that was a totally unnecessary crit. That's all 8 badges. Even get through the league today. Or make a run at it at least, that hopefully turns out well. I mean, I have a lot of what I just needed to beat the Kanto League. I have good matchups into their Pokemon. Well, we'll see. Step 1, Thunderbolt this Pidgeot. Also, I don't know what Victory Road is going to be like. Agility? Uh-oh. Agility just then into Quick Attack? Sure. That's fine. Why did that do nothing? Did you see that damage? Another one probably would have KO'd, but then I got scared and went for Thunderbolt. Why did Swift do no damage to that Pidgeot? Okay, Rhyhorn. I think I just switched to Laval. Taking the Fury attack should not be an issue. Growlithe. Is he just going through his Pokemon in order? Probably. It's Gen 1. Just surf that too. It's not even an Arcanine yet. Execute. Let's see how that takes an Aurora Beam. Not well. Yeah, Dugong is looking like possibly the MVP of the late part of this playthrough right now. Which I guess is a silver lining to the absolute tragedy of losing Lapras. A level 50 Alakazam is pretty scary. I think this is the best thing I have for it. Reflect is going to make my fly do less damage, so I guess I'll go for Blizzard. He uses Reflect again for some reason, because Gen 1 just can't be explained sometimes. Where's Laval? It's another place I don't know much about. I think it's a suburb of Montreal. Someone in chat earlier called it Suburban Hell, which I'm not familiar with the place enough to know if that's true, but I think it is, yeah, just suburban Montreal, basically. Okay, Blastoise. Let's try to Petal Dance through that. There's Bite. Didn't do too much. It's faster. Don't love that when I'm locking myself in here. Okay, but I only need to hit one more. It's lowering its head for Skull Bash, but that leaves me a free shot. Still thrashing around. And we got it. Okay, that rival battle went pretty well. That's good. Now, whom do I want in the lead spot to start off Victory Road? Right there, Raymer, you can see something that I can't use because it's yellow. Yes, really? Ariados is better anyway? Yeah. Unfortunately. Ledian is adorable, but doesn't have a whole lot else going for it apart from that. I'm a little concerned about some of these levels that I'm already seeing. But hey, I battled so many trainers to be ready for this. Let's see if it pays off. That would have just KO'd outright with a crit. Also, it's Gen 1. The Elite Four use things like Growl for no reason. So that ought to help. Cloyster might just one-shot that. That thing is low special, I'm pretty sure. Not quite. Got a para. Full para? Yep. Let's go. I guess they are just going through their Pokemon in order. So next is Slowbro, and I can Thunderbolt that too. Draw. Annoying. Right, actually it makes no difference because I'm using a special attack on it, so never mind. That means Jinx will be next. So I'll probably want to switch to Halifax. We get the long pause for the Jinx cry. For once it's on the other side. I think trying to fly through this is the best answer I have to it. It's genuinely just the thing that I have the least coverage for on my team. I guess because I don't have a Charizard anymore. It's also faster than my Articuno, I'm noticing. Which makes sense. It's at a higher level and Jinx is pretty fast. It just keeps thrashing. If this fly connects, that should knock it out. Hurts itself in confusion. Okay. And that just leaves her Lapras. Her Lapras could be pretty tough, but we'll see. Switch to Winnipeg. On a Blizzard. This might hurt. Ooh, that hurt. Okay, but it could miss. Let's use Max Potion. Okay, she misses a Hydro Pump. I think Light Screen is actually a good idea here. Might turn some 2-hit KOs into 3-hit KOs. Yep. Looks good, but also let's see what this Thunderbolt does. And hey, maybe it crits and I just win on the spot. No. Even a crit wouldn't have knocked it out, actually. I also can't PP stall her because this is Gen 1. The opponents just have infinite moves. But Hydro Pump and Blizzard are just so inaccurate. And I don't know if I don't know if Light Screen ever goes away in Gen 1. It might not. It might last forever, as long as Winnipeg stays on the field. Because it definitely works differently from how it works in modern gens. Well, in every gen except this one. Crit there would have been nice. Don't get it. She's a Super Potion. Might still be in range even without a crit. Hopefully we'll find out shortly. She's got Body Slam. That does so much damage. Oh, it crits. And a para as well. Good thing I bought a lot of full restores. Again, Lorelei might well be the toughest of these opponents, so I'm not too worried about how much trouble this Lapras is giving me. but we'll see. Okay. Floristore also got rid of the confusion. No, it didn't. It doesn't get rid of... The Floristore doesn't get rid of confusion in Gen 1? Are you serious? Why? Is confusion not considered a status condition in Gen 1? I know it's different from some of the others, but still. You can use Scorbunny and Cinderace, but not Raboot? Well, I mean, I can use Raboot because I can evolve it into Cinderace. But is Raboot not red? I kind of think of it as the reddest of those three. Okay. Alright, beat Lorelei. Got that crit later than I would have liked, but... One down. Okay, I'm hoping Halifax can just sweep this guy. I guess I saved my Psychic type for Agatha. Bubble Beam Articuno coming in handy once again. And we use Fly into his fighting types. It's Gen 1, they probably don't even have rock coverage. Counter is also fine, even if it takes his hit. Counter only works on normal and fighting type attacks in Gen 1. So it would not work on Fly. Raboot's pants are gray. You know, maybe I'm having a slightly harder time than that picturing what Raboot looks like right now, but I'll take your word for it. Oh, did it go for high jump kick or regular jump kick? Why does it take that little damage from crashing? That did like 1 damage. Gen 1 is so weird. Okay, well, here's the other Onyx. And then there's just Machamp. Maybe that can take a fly, I don't know. Oh, we used an X defend. That's gonna help. Unless I crit. Wow, that took it really well after an X defend. And then he goes for focus energy. Alright, I'm going straight for Blizzard. I'm not messing around here. Okay. And that crits. Alright, so Bruno, as usual, much easier than Lorelei. Probably not really worth the effort. Okay, here's the first Gengar. Well, let's see what a Psychic does to this. The good news is it probably doesn't have a lot to threaten Jinx back, but we'll see. I do outspeed, which is itself pretty impressive. Thank you, badge boosts or something. I don't know, Gen 1. And I got the special drop, but Gengar's going for Nightshade, which doesn't care about its special stat anyway. But did a lot of damage, actually. But getting rid of her first Gengar should be fine. And then I'm not afraid of Haunter, Golbat, or Arbok. But I'm not sure what will happen with the second Gengar. But she is just sending her team out in order. So we get to sweep through everything else before we have to deal with the second Gengar. That took an Ice Beam? Really? Well, it got frozen, so GG to this Golbat. Are her other Pokemon actually going to take Psychic? I hope not. It took the hit. It took the special drop, but it goes for Confuse Ray. Pretty scary. Especially because apparently a full restore doesn't cure confusion in this game, and she switches out to Arbok. She switched her Pokemon. What is this? Self-damage again, leaving Jinx vulnerable to bite. Which crits? Okay, so sweeping Agatha is not going quite as I thought it might. That is Jinx, gone from the MapleLocke. R.I.P., like the Raymer King just said in chat. I shall update the spreadsheet. This challenge will never feature a Jinx actually named Brampton. Oh well. So no Jinx in any of the other generations either. Just bear with me while I make all the updates. And then hopefully I can still beat Agatha. I think I can beat Agatha. I have Articuno. But this battle did not go the way I expected. I thought that Psychic would basically just sweep everything except for maybe her 2 Gengar. I still have to beat her second Gengar. Oh, man. Well, Jinx did a lot of work in the short time it was here, but we move on. 2. Another plan. Yeah, let's just throw my strongest Pokemon at her now. Oh, I have to put chat back up on screen too. What are you saying, Raymer? What is with Pokemon dying before they get their real name? I know. It's like a curse. Okay. Well, her Haunter's very low. She does send that in next. I think I can just drop that with a Bubble Beam. And then, do I Blizzard or Fly against the Gengar? I think I prefer Fly because it hits its weaker defensive stat. I get outsped. She goes for Confuse Rayo because if Fly was bad because I have to break through Confusion twice to successfully execute it. Okay, don't even manage the first time. We swap to Blizzard. She shows Toxic. That's okay. I have full restores. I do land the Blizzard. Crits, but it doesn't KO. She uses Super Potion. Sure. I will go ahead with a full restore right now, before I have to be afraid of the toxic damage. Gen 2 is probably the hardest game, right? I mean, I think Ultra Sun is the hardest game, but that's so far off. I mean, I don't know why she just went for Dream Eater when I'm awake. That's so far off, I don't have to worry about it until I'm a lot closer to getting there. But I think surely Gen 7 is the hardest. Gen 2 is probably pretty hard, though. Relatively speaking, at least. Dragons are virtually indestructible, but fortunately, the MapleLocke strongly incentivizes me to use the one type in Gen 1 that matches up well into them. Is there a way you can cheese Ultra Necrozma with Fear? That is a fair question. If I get to Ultra Necrozma, I'll probably have to be thinking about stuff like that. But that is a long way off. Not much use thinking about it right now. Good chance I don't get even that far. Okay, Dragonair. Just go straight to my strongest ice type. On a Hyper Beam, how much is that going to do? It's a Dragonair. It's not crazy strong. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Just drops to Ice Beam. I think he has to send in his other Dragonair immediately now. We can just knock that out and then figure out how to deal with Aerodactyl. I probably switch back to Winnipeg. And hope Aerodactyl doesn't do crazy damage on the switch. This thing is a threat. But we'll see just how threatening. Bite. That doesn't do too much. Okay, takes a Thunderbolt. The level disparity is really apparent right now, and it crits me with Bite, but it doesn't KO. I was thinking about staying in and spamming Flash against his Dragonite, but I will not be doing that now that Winnipeg is at low HP. I'm actually going to switch to Laval. Just to be a little bit safe in case this Dragonite throws off a crazy Hyper Beam crit or something. It actually just goes straight for Barrier. Okay. Let's see how it takes an Aurora Beam. It's not as strong as Ice Beam or Blizzard. Slam is... I'm not mad to see Slam because that could miss. But if he has Hyper Beam, I might be in range of it right now. But I'm going to gamble on that. Okay, he just goes for Slam again. Okay, we're fine. No deaths against Lance. But there's still the rival that I named Leafs because I didn't think quickly enough to name him Tim Horton. I'll fix that next time. But there's still the Leafs. Somehow they won a championship. The most improbable part of the whole run. But now it's time to take it away from them. So I know which outcome I'm hoping for. Oh, his Alakazam is going to be so scary. But we're not there yet. First Pidgeot. Thunderbolt. He uses Mirror Move and throws a Thunderbolt back. That's fine, I think. Unless it paralyzes me. But it doesn't. Actually, I don't know if electric types can be paralyzed by Thunderbolt in Gen 1. There's some weird mechanic where I think secondary effects don't activate on Pokemon of the same type of the move. Something like that. Of the same type as the move. Alakazam is actually next. What if I stay in Light Screen? That might make a big difference here. I go straight for Recover for no reason. Let's see how much Swift does. Probably not as much as I want. And he goes for Reflect. Okay, I still have a couple. I still have one Thunderbolt left, and I can use an Ether if need be. That does like nothing. This Alakazam special is so high. And Psychic. Crits and KOs. Okay, losing Electrode is not great. Electrode might have been pretty valuable in some later playthroughs. Like Gen 3, for example. I don't think there are a lot of electric types I get there. But that is Electrode. Out of the challenge. I'm deleting it from the spreadsheet. Before I resume here. One of very few Pokemon outside of Gen 3 itself that I could use in Gen 3, but now I can't. Okay, there we go. Removed it from everywhere I have to. I think. How do I beat this Alakazam? Blizzard and Prey? I think so. I only have 2 left. Okay, but he doesn't recover, he just goes straight for Psybeam. Freezing Alakazam would work. Unless he has a full restore, which he might. He crits with the Psybeam. Come on, Blizzard. Oh my god, do you see that, Raymer? Okay, I'm scared of another crit, so I'm gonna heal. That gives him the chance to recover. Please crit. Oh, he just recovers again, so he gets back almost to full. Crit's not even gonna do it. But a freeze would be huge. Oh, crit would have done it, actually. But I'm out of blizzards. I mean, I could use an ether, but let's just try Ice Beam. Narrowly missed the KO with that, but he doesn't recover. He goes straight for Psybeam for no apparent reason. What if he confuses me here? Okay, he doesn't. Okay, I beat the Alakazam. The scariest boss of the whole run. Losing Electrode to that is really bad, but I beat it. Okay. Right on. Okay. We'll see what Edmonton can do. Come in on a Leer. Maybe I should have gone to Laval, actually, because Mega Drain is just not very strong. I don't know what I was scared of. A Rock Attack? What Rock Attack does Rhydon even get in this generation? But okay, he uses Leer and Tail Whip. He's the champion, and he has both of those on his Rhydon. Ether Blizzard? I don't know if I still need it. His remaining Pokemon are Arcanine, Exeggutor, and Blastoise. Here's the Arcanine. I guess I switch to Laval on this and hope for the best. Maybe it should have been Laval in the first place. He's still running Ember. Blaine had Fire Blast, but this guy's still running Ember. Well, I'm not complaining about that. That was a crit. Surf just knocks it out with my own crit. Okay. Here's his Exeggutor. I think I will switch out just in case. Try to close this out with my legendary. Strongest Pokemon I have. Coming in on a stomp and taking a fair bit of damage. Okay, another Ice Beam should knock this out. And then I just have to beat his Blastoise somehow. This is the last obstacle in my way. Let's switch back to Edmonton. You know what? Right now I kind of wish I'd taught Toxic to Edmonton. Okay, well I didn't know he had that. Okay, Edmonton survives. Switch to Laval. Full restore into anything was not safe this last turn, Raymer. But now I can probably get Halifax back in. You don't like this guy? You mean Leafs or you mean Blastoise? Both. Fair. Okay. Doesn't do too terribly much. Let's see how much a fly does. I might be disappointed by that too, but hopefully it does a lot. It's not terrible. He has withdraw. Okay, but if I crit him, the withdraw doesn't matter. So just keep wearing this down. Alternatively, I could fish for a freeze with Ice Beam, but I think I'm a little more comfortable fishing for a crit right now. We've seen all its moves, huh? Withdraw, Bite, Blizzard, and Hydro Pump. Good crit. Honestly, does less than I'd like, but... It's Stallfest. No, it's not. I'm attacking. He's kind of stalling. Well, he's not doing a very good job of it. At least for him? Eh, kind of. Missed a fly. I guess that was bound to happen eventually. I'm just mashing A right now. I will think about not doing that and using a full restore in a second. He crits me with Hydro Pump. Gen 1 crits are just messing me up here. I just have to hope that my Dugong can win now. Okay, there are not a ton of generations to remove Articuno from in the spreadsheet. That is a really rough loss. Well, that completely eliminates the dilemma on Delphox versus Articuno in Gen 6, although I knew the answer to that already anyway. No Articuno from Ultra Warp Ride. No Articuno from Dynamax Adventures. No Articuno from Snacksworth. Is Mega Drain physical? Mega Drain is special, but Blastoise is surely going to be faster than my Vileplume. And we've seen that Blizzard almost KOs even without a crit. This is Gen 1. The real question is, are grass type attacks physical or special? And the answer is special. Okay. But he's not healing his Blastoise, so I only have to do a little bit more damage. I'm not getting a ton of room to do it, and again, he can't run out of bites. NPCs have infinite PP in Gen 1. That crits! Hope it doesn't KO. And we get the crit back. And we took some really bad casualties in this Elite Four run, but the MapleLocke has survived Generation 1. The few survivors, and I guess the corpses of their teammates, will go enter the Hall of Fame now. Obviously, the Leafs still don't get to be champions in the end. Hall of Fame time. Nope, not real. Well, I did contribute to the run, so maybe I shouldn't say that. RIP, let's say. Absolute hero. Clutched up in the end. RIP. We get the pause on that long cry one more time, I think. Didn't do much against the Elite Four, or against the league in general, but great through most of the run. Very sad, RIP. Good job with those HMs. Welcome to the Hall of Fame. And that's that.